Since the pandemic and subsequent lockdown and restrictions began, I've been careful not to criticise the government, because an event like this hasn't taken place since the Spanish flu 100 years ago, and around the world governments are trying to do the best that they can, and most of them are making mistakes. But today I am going to criticise one politician, the Chancellor of the Exchequer, Rishi Sunak, because he has, and I apologise for the phrase I'm about to use, he's shown himself to be a prize cunt. Because Rishi has suggested that musicians and people who work in the arts should retrain and get other jobs. And someone in his position should be very careful when suggesting that people should look for alternative employment. The pandemic is destroying all forms of art and entertainment. Just a few days ago, the UK's biggest cinema chain went bust, and live music venues and theatres are going out of business on a daily basis. And for every venue that goes under, that's a loss of revenue to the government, because everything from massive stadium concerts down to a gig in the back room of a pub, well, there's ticket sales, soft drinks, booze, food, t-shirts, CDs, vinyl, baseball caps, all that stuff costs money, and all of it is taxable. Then there's music teachers, books, sheet music, instrument sales, cables, amplification, lighting, technicians, sound engineers, and for all the money that's spent, Rishi has got his hand in the fucking till. And it's not just professionals who are affected. There are millions of hobbyists, people in amateur theatre companies, or who play an instrument and perform gigs for fun, myself included, and it's not a cheap hobby. My main stage guitar is an ESP Eclipse, and that cost £1,000, and of that 1,000, 200 is tax that went straight to the government. And if you've seen these videos before, you may have seen that sometimes I record in the spare room. And on the wall behind me are two framed t-shirts. On the left is a tour shirt from local rock band Jesse's Divide. Three of the nicest and fucking weirdest guys you could ever hope to meet. And off their own backs, they toured the USA, then came back to England, toured here as well. They even went across the border into Wales to entertain the Druids. So how much tax did they pay to do that? And on the right is a shirt from Scribble Victory from Derby, Tom and Jamie, two great blokes. And before the lockdown happened, they would play 5 or 6 gigs a week. And if nothing else, they had to drive to the venues. In the UK, there's VAT on cars. And then to put the car on the road, you need road fund licence, which is a tax. And whenever you park the car in any major town or city, you'll need a parking ticket, which is taxed. And then putting petrol or diesel in it, that has fuel duty tax and value added tax on top of that. And all of that is lovely money for the government. And all of those guys also have day jobs, so they're already paying their taxes. But the work they do in music is additional money for Rishi to get his grubby bloody hands on. And what about the people that Rishi is targeting? Professional actors, artists and musicians, people who've trained for years, often at great expense, to hone their craft, which essentially is done to entertain other people. Are they meant to jack it in and push trolleys around Tesco car park in the pissing rain? I once knew a guy who said that in 2 weeks, despite having never played a guitar before, that he was going to learn and perform on stage Hallowed Be Thy Name by Iron Maiden. He didn't, because in 2 weeks when you're first starting off, you'll learn 2 or 3 chords and hopefully know how to hold it correctly. Not being able to master an 8-minute metal song with multiple solos and tempo changes. Skill like that doesn't take weeks to master, it takes years. And the Chancellor should consider that. And if the government needs to save money, then why not scrap HS2? Why spend billions on a high-speed rail link at a time when millions of people are now working from home? And if talented, artistic people are being asked to give up their jobs and do something more mundane, then let's put our politicians on minimum wage and see how they fucking like it. And seriously, if we lose theatre, art, music, film and literature, what's left? Well, there's YouTube. And look at the shit that's on here. Thanks for watching.